Chris Sutton just made a shocking admission about one of our midfielders. Julian Araujo has opened up about his future at Celtic, and Kenny Dalglish has praised the board's Martin O'Neill decision. Plus, Aberdeen's boss is making excuses after Tuesday night, and our Ibrox comeback just smashed viewing records. It's been an eventful few days, but first make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Several Celtic players have underperformed this season. Chris Sutton can't quite believe the decline in one midfielder in particular. Reo Hatate came on at half-time and shifted the tempo of the game at Ibrox on Sunday. It was the sort of contribution that used to feel routine in his first spell in Scotland, sharp on the ball and always looking forward. Martin O'Neill clearly felt the same heading into the Aberdeen clash. The former Celtic manager backed Hatate from the start, a sign of faith that the Japanese international can rediscover the level that once made him one of the most exciting players in the league. He played his part in the winning goal. Hatate spotted Julian Araujo in space through the middle and moved the ball quickly. James Forrest then took over, sliding the final pass into Benjamin Nygren, who finished to settle the contest. Moments like that are why there is still so much discussion around Hatate. He is no longer the new arrival from Japan, making an instant splash. He is now one of the more senior figures in the Celtic squad, a player expected to dictate games rather than drift through them. Former Celtic striker Chris Sutton admitted he has struggled to understand the midfielder's drop in level since those early months in Glasgow. Speaking on the warm-up, Sutton said, "If Hatate hits the levels which he can, he's the best player in Scotland by a distance. I cannot believe the drop-off. When he first came to Scotland, the impact he made on the Rangers game, the goals he scored, his awareness, I thought he was the next big one down to the Premier League. His drop-off has been remarkable." Former Scotland international James McFadden pointed out that the issue has not been limited to one player, suggesting there has been a wider dip across the side this season. Sutton then questioned where Hatate sees his own career heading. What does he want out of his career? What's his desired outcome? With respect, his desired outcome will probably be to play down in the Premier League. He may want to go to the Bundesliga. If you're watching him this season and you're scouting him, scouting Dys and Maida, what would you have made of their performances? It is a fair question. Both Hatate and Dys and Maida were central figures during Ange Postecoglou's time in charge. They played with pace, purpose and confidence in a Celtic side that overwhelmed most teams in front of them. Now there is a sense that both could move on when the summer window opens. Where they might end up is unclear. Hatate's ability is not in doubt. The challenge has been consistency, something Celtic need from their more experienced players during the run-in. If Sunday at Ibrox was any indication, the quality is still there. The question is whether it shows up often enough between now and the end of the campaign. Now for the main story, the Celtic supporters have already taken to Julian Araujo, and the feeling is mutual. A last-minute winner against Kilmarnock and dancing in with the travelling fans will do that. So will the post-match scenes at Ibrox, when the Mexican international enjoyed the moment a little too much for the home crowd's liking. Add in the constant running down the right flank and the willingness to get forward at every opportunity, and it is easy to see why supporters have quickly taken to him. The obvious question now is whether there is any chance of him staying beyond the end of the season. Araujo arrived in January during Wilfried Nancy's short spell in charge, joining on loan from Bournemouth. The move helped Celtic solve a problem position, but the deal came without an option to buy. That detail matters. If Araujo finishes the campaign strongly, Celtic may well want to explore a permanent move. The problem is that his form in Glasgow is only likely to strengthen Bournemouth's hand when the summer window arrives. For now, the player himself is keeping his focus on the run-in. Speaking to Sky Sports, Araujo made it clear his immediate priority is finishing the season properly. "My goal is to obviously finish this season strong, in the most positive way possible. It's been a good adjustment, it's been good to come here, get minutes, to physically and mentally be stronger. I think I've shown that I can play. I've been very happy here. I'm excited to see what the future brings. All I can say is that Celtic has a special place in my heart now. There is no mistaking the tone there. Araujo has enjoyed his time in Glasgow, and the Celtic support have clearly made an impression on him. Still, sentiment does not change the contract situation. Without a buy clause written into the loan agreement, Celtic would need to negotiate with Bournemouth from scratch if they wanted to keep him. If Araujo keeps producing moments like the one against Kilmarnock, his value is only heading one way. For now, that discussion can wait. Celtic have a league title to secure, and Araujo has already shown he enjoys the big occasions. He returns to Ibrox on Sunday. After last weekend's antics, he should expect the reception to be more hostile than usual. In other news, Aberdeen boss Peter Leven's post-match comments after the Dons' defeat to Celtic have raised eyebrows. The interim Dons boss suggested two of his players should perhaps have gone to ground inside the box in order to win penalties during the match at Pittodrie. Celtic left the North East with a 2-1 win thanks to Benjamin Negron's second-half strike. It was not a comfortable evening, but Martin O'Neill's side showed patience and eventually found the moment that settled the game. Aberdeen had their own penalty earlier in the match when Kevin Nisbet converted from the spot after Liam Scales was penalised. That decision gave the home side a route back into the contest after Kieran Tierney had opened the scoring for Celtic. Leven's frustration afterwards centred on two late incidents involving Lyle Cameron and Graeme Shinnie. Instead of questioning the referee's decisions directly, he suggested his players were too honest and should have gone down. He said, "I think Lyle was too honest and stayed on his feet. Shinnie had a hand in the back and could have gone down. I think they need to be more streetwise. It looks offside, but why is there not two lines drawn? There was only one drawn. But listen, right now it's not going for us, these decisions in the game. The players need to be a bit more streetwise. Lyle needs to ask the question late on when Hatate goes in. I thought the players worked really hard today. We started the second half really well, but listen, it's just not going for us." From a Celtic point of view, the comments feel strange given the balance of decisions during the match. Aberdeen were already awarded a penalty in the first half, while Celtic had a strong appeal of their own when the ball struck Jack Milne's arm inside the box. That moment was waved away despite the defender's arm being away from his body. VAR reviewed the incident but chose not to intervene. Celtic instead had to find their winning moment the hard way. James Forrest's low cross eventually reached Nygren, who finished calmly from close range. At this stage of the season, results matter more than style. Celtic left Pittodrie with 3 points and remain firmly in the title race. Aberdeen's manager may feel decisions are not going his way, but suggesting players should fall to win penalties is unlikely to win much sympathy. Lastly, Celtic's 2-2 draw with Rangers at Ibrox on Sunday drew a television audience of more than 1 million viewers on Sky Sports. The Glasgow derby always pulls attention, but the stakes around the game added extra eyes. With the title race tightening, supporters across the country tuned in to watch how Celtic would respond in a hostile atmosphere. Sky confirmed the match reached a peak audience of 1.15 million across its platforms. It is the highest viewing figure recorded for a Scottish Premiership fixture on the broadcaster in almost 2 seasons. The game itself delivered plenty for those watching. Rangers went 2 goals ahead before Celtic fought back after the break, pushing forward with more urgency as the match opened up. The comeback kept Celtic firmly involved in the title race. Martin O'Neill's side followed that result with a 2-1 win away to Aberdeen, a match also shown live on Sky Sports. Those 3 points at Pittodrie moved Celtic onto 58 points and back above Rangers in the table. Hearts remain the team Celtic are chasing. The Tynecastle side sit 5 points clear on 63 points as the season moves toward the closing run of fixtures. With a handful of games left, every result around the top of the table now carries extra weight. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.